Ah, the Dynamo Police Department. What a place to be. This is where people that have a real job, who are worthy of being treated like an adult, go to work in the morning, in the night, or whenever their shift so happens to permit them to be there. Other times, when they are also permitted to be there hypothetically, I assume that they probably go there, maybe even if to pick up a paycheck, to check on something, to grab some paperwork on the way to court because they have to go to a court trial or something like this, as the person that they arrested perhaps decided to not just take the time at the arraignment and wants to fight the case because they feel like these pieces of shit, who are probably only ever just pieces of shit to me, something I'm totally expected to believe and act on, are likely pieces of shit to other people as well, who are not really all that unfamiliar with doing jail time, and so rather than to let something like that slip through their fingers, would rather fight it, eh? So in the event that they really did do the thing that they're supposed to do, which is the due process thing that we're all familiar with, it's America for fuck's sake, they probably, whether they like it or not, have to when the person decides that they want them to, because you can decide that. You don't just have to take the arraignment time because everybody's a drug addict that just does that because they don't want to fucking be having to see the cop that arrested them again, because they actually legitimately fear that the idiot's going to have a problem with them and try and target them and pick on them after that. This is very, very common here in Dinuba, and that's fucked up. Anyways, I just wanted to film this, and I'm going to put this on YouTube, and it's just a laminate of my own fucking sorrows and my own irritations, my own problems. I just wanted to get this on camera, show you the building, just videotape it for a while. At one point, I looked up to these guys, I respected them, I treated them with nothing but pure and utter respect. Even when they were putting me in handcuffs, even after yelling and screaming at them, I would still manage to say sorry and explain to them seriously. I wish that I was able to be a little bit more like you guys. A little bit more like you, and a little bit less like myself. Because you know what? I think that it's safe to assume you guys are actually trying to help me, or whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, standard things that somebody who's trying to not get in as much trouble, or like apparently not get beat up by cops who already have them in the fucking holding cell or whatever, or apparently are just desperately seeking some kind of a fucking answer because everything that's happening to them is not literally happening until they're somewhere public where everyone around them could validate those things in real time and then deny them to his face. Something that is the big time fucking fad for those dickheads to do. So since they're doing it and insisting on it and everything like little kids, so does every little kid around here. It's a Friday afternoon. It's a busy fucking day. That is Walmart over there. I'll say that for everyone's sake. And also the fact that it's one of the biggest Walmarts around. I mean, it is still that there's an unemployment rate that's fairly high, I guess, but that doesn't mean that every single person that's going shopping right now is unemployed or something. It's just that in Dinuba, the percentage of that being very certain to be what is true is like 50%. People that are shopping there right now are probably unemployed or collecting welfare, and consider that employment because taxes are happening right now. I'm not making fun of them. I don't got shit coming. I'm a homeless dude with no life, and I've been blackballed from being able to have one. Because of why? Well, I don't want to get into that right now. But if you're watching this video and you know who I am, you're aware of it. It's no big deal. I'm just trying to see if there's any action over there. Anybody going to exit or enter that building because they don't think that I'm actually filming it right now, because they shouldn't be aware of the fact that I'm doing this. I'm a safe distance away. But the fact that I've seen the same individual there, standing there for a while, and it looks like they're even trying to show me that they're on camera. They're like all proudly acting up and everything. Anyway, I'm just gonna not even zoom in on it because it would be pointless, as all the good posts would probably not be there, so I hope. Yeah, I just heard him laughing. So, I hope that laugh was off camera too. Because it's all fun and games until somebody gets their feelings hurt. Something I guess I managed to do today, by the way. I wish I had my camera out earlier when I was sitting over there at the fucking water tower. Here, I think I might get the water tower on camera here. It's way over there, past these trucks. This is a perfect location to sit and film all this crap. Kind of, sort of. I might have to get off my butt here for a second. I mean, this is all stuff I would expect me to do. They're acting like they're all surprised and shit. They must not have seen me on New Year's Day. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's glare and the sun's all in my face, but there's the water tower. I was over there. It's far away from the fucking city life, I guess. Far enough away to where at least I felt like it was far enough away. It's over there. There's a fucking big old Best Buy warehouse and water tower with a park and whatever. I'm sitting over there, right? And then from a street that they shouldn't have been on, really, it made no sense at all. This street being, well, over there by the water tower. Basically, unless there was an emergency at the golf course or something. I don't know. But 2 ambulances, and this is very common and very something that happens very often here in Dinuba, specifically to myself at Chavez. But anyways, I'm over there doing this, basically what I'm doing right now, without the camera on. Legitimately what I was doing, more or less. And like usual, when they got fed up with it, I guess. So it did take like maybe a fucking 20 minutes. They think that I think that it was more like 2 hours. Probably because they're familiar with the things that are happening to my brain by either way of actually this stuff is real and it is happening, or even the fucking overwhelming sense of ouch. Nevertheless, they must have more ouchies. And so the EMT crew that's honestly around here known for picking on me because whether it's true or not, I mean, I'm aware that a partner of mine, I say partner, it's hilarious, a dude that's been a fucking on and off friend of mine for basically my whole childhood, or not really my childhood, more like, this isn't going to be any help, but like junior high till now, has more or less picked on me, then we get along, and hence the pattern. So, I love him. We're friends. We used to be brothers in the Lord, whatever you call that. Anyways, he does drive ambulance, and sometimes will actually grace Dinuba with his presence. Typically, the dude works for Fresno Ambulance, and that's what I know him to do. That's what his job actually is. He basically just kind of fucks around here sometimes, because he's like a dude that can do that. He's cool, I guess. Just not with me anymore. Or maybe we're in one of those down parts. Anyway, what was I saying? 2 ambulances emerge from the cut. Sirens ablazing, and statusly, like the status of this guy's overwhelming sense of hate for me, I suppose, which isn't even true. But it's assumed by the Dinuba EMT, which is Emergency Medical Team, that since he does apparently demonstrate that he doesn't like me by simply working for them sometimes, basically, that they could just go ahead and blame it on him and superimpose his energy into the situation by way of abusing me with a monitor and all kinds of other stupid fucked up shit, that it's his fault and blah 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 blah. Long story short, we never really even exchanged any words. And the truth is, if they hadn't have fired up that siren, I would have still got the message. But yeah, not 1, but 2, threateningly, emerged from the cut. I did make a comment, however, this only made them seem to snap out of it for only a moment in time, whenever they decided to justify the fact that I'm just as aware of the fucking facts as they are, I guess. And the facts are this: Ted's doing something that we basically threatened to kill him for making fun of one of his other family members for doing all the fucking time, just a lot more sloppier than he does it. And with a lot less fucking reason to do so. That being said, my cousin Frederick sure as hell loved to talk about his rights, and he was way way more of a problem in my opinion. But yet received a lot more sorrow, sympathy, and respect for it, and mostly because he had a fucking SSI check coming in that all his tweaker fucking buddies loved to get whenever it would come around. Then it would disappear when it was gone. So he was always respected, didn't get beat up around here ever. Not that I know of. But yeah. So I've one time been in the back of an ambulance. I know that if you're getting tired of this, you're probably not watching the video anymore, which is fine by me. Or you have it on mute because you're a crybaby and you still wanted to watch what I filmed just in case one of your buddies popped up on it or something. So yeah, they basically more or less threatened me because I said this. They were comparing me to him only on the down low or in secret or whatever. And I said, dude, check this out, bro. That was my cousin Frederick, dude. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, in that house fire, that's what you're basically talking about, right? You're trying to insinuate something, you feel some kind of way about that, whatever it is, dude, check it out. I hope that he fucking died in that thing if it was up to me. And actually, if my family did have anything to do with that, I'm pretty sure that they would have made sure that he fucking did, dude. They decided to go ahead and tighten everything down a little bit harder and give me dirty looks, and basically, by way of fucking cause and effect, I realized that they're not usually the actual team of people that is respected as the people that do that job ever, and were honestly hired for that specific incident. They had to have been. If they were ever around a EMT before, or an ambulance rather, they've had to put up with a lot worse behavior than that. Let's just keep it at that. And mind you, knew the same thing they knew that day, they couldn't do shit. Except for this, by the way, which is acceptable as a motherfucker. Hey, sir, I understand you're angry. I realize that you're upset. You have every reason to be. You've just this or that. Or, hey man, I'm sorry, but you cannot be out of control like this. You just were in a fucking blah 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 with a blah blah blah, and you're actually guilty of blah blah blah. And to be this irate and upset makes sense because you are going to go to jail after you go to the hospital, but it isn't my fault that you're going to go to jail. If I wouldn't have responded to that emergency, you might have bled out or whatever, and you should be grateful for the fact that we're actually going to save your life right now, and you need to calm down. Only that if they would have said all that, it would have been against procedure. They're supposed to like make them count to 10 or whatever. It's a lot easier to do their real job than I would assume that it is. It's just amazing to hear that I would try to be that thorough if it was my job. Good thing it's never going to be my job, because apparently that's not how you get hired around here. You get hired by honking your horn, fucking running the siren, and doing a whole bunch of other really stupid, childish, unprofessional shit whenever Ted Chavez is doing this right now without the camera on. Now, I've already heard people begin to honk, so I'm pretty much done. I made my point. And yep, now time to go put this on YouTube.